Okay, next up in the battle guide we have Jin and Xiaoyu, Jin and Xianghua from Tekken, and Flynn from Tales of Vesperia. Now, the reason why I chose this solo unit to go with this pair unit is because Jin and Xianghua's attacks are, like relatively low, and it keeps the target, like low on the ground. And Flynn, like, he charges out, like when he starts to attack. And so just to show you guys all of that. So again, stupid me, I did not take off the block. I gotta make a habit of doing that. So first, let me show you all the attacks that Jin and Xianghua has. Now with Jin and Xianghua, so like when you get them again in the game, so like they will have their down attack. So, but like around that time is when you should have Flynn. So let me just let you guys see all the moves. So first A. Forward A, that's back A. So that's all of their attacks right there. And as you've seen, like their attacks are pretty close range, and they're not as easy to read as, some of the other pair units. So I'm going to call out Flynn so you guys can see how he attacks. So I mean, like, he just charges out first. He sends out like 3 dragon heads from his sword to attack them while they're in midair. So you can see why I chose Flynn to work with Jin and Xianghua. So let me go back and put on the block setting so I can show you how I normally would do. So like the normal like attack sequence that I use for these guys is A, back A, forward A, or forward A and back A, then down A, then up A. Alright, so that's the normal attack pattern. Now their attacks do require for you to really pay attention to what they're doing, because when using Flynn with this team, there's pretty much only 2 windows of opportunity as to when to really call them out, before the cross up, and that's with forward A and back A. And it's pretty much like the same thing. When their attacks begin to swing down, that's when you want to call out Flynn. So first I'm going to show you with forward A. Now what's going to happen is that the Xianghua, so like she's going to swing both of her hands down, and it's right before then that you want to call out Flynn. So let me demonstrate that. And that's how you get the cross up with that. So right before those 2 hands, so like swing down, so like right as Jin is doing his overhead punch, that's when you want to call out Flynn. Let me break this guard real quick. Now let me show you how to do it with back A. Okay, I messed that up again. Like, you gotta really time their moves. Okay, so let me fix that. Okay, again, like right after that the uppercut punch that Jin does, that's when you want to call out Flynn, because that's when those overhead attacks are going to start. And then by that time, you know, so like Flynn would have already it hit the target for the cross up. So just to show you that again properly. Right then. So that's pretty much the two opportune times that are like the two windows of opportunity to call out Flynn. Again, that's with forward A, right before Xiaoyu does her overhead attacks. And you gotta pay attention to Jin's fist as well, because when he does his overhead, that's when you want to call him in. So let me show that one more time. That's the first cross up right there, or the best time to do it. And then there's the back one. Now you got to pay attention to like Jin's fist again, because like he's like the really key aspect in this to really know when to call out Flynn. Now in the back A again, you have to watch his fist. Right after he does the uppercut, that's when you want to call him out. Right there. See, it caught him. So that's pretty much it for the cross up and who to use with this team. There really isn't anybody else that I use with Jin and Xiaoyu, because I just feel that, you know, well, at times like I had to use I like Bond, you know, something like with this team, but you know, it's the exact same thing with Bond. You have to watch Jin's fist, and that's when you call them out. You know, so like during those times that I spoke on. So let's finish this guy off. Right there. And that's it for the battle guide for Jin and Xiaoyu and Xiaoyu and Flynn.